Hey, welcome to the Freedom Training. This is Matt and Jessica. As you probably already know, we're so glad that you've decided to take this training to see if you could lead a group and what freedom, small groups, and retreat is all about. And so we're going to just jump right in. We're going to try to make this as short as possible. And we may even break this up into segments at some point so you can kind of watch pieces and parts of this. But as of now, it's just going to be one video. What's up?
So you should have been emailed this document that you see right here, Freedom Training. You can follow along digitally. And we just want to make this available to everyone in these, at all times. You can just check it out online. So we're going to start with our prerequisites to lead. So you should have, if you're considering leading a group, you should have completed Freedom and a retreat, attend a Freedom retreat. You should also be attending this Freedom Leader training and serve as a co-leader before you are leading a group.
That's right. Freedom is run in semesters, typically in a 10-week course, but that can have variances based on the year.
Yep. We recommend that you can combine lessons to make it 10 weeks or even maybe shorter or whatever works.
Yep, that's true. And so childcare reimbursements will also be given to people that provide childcare for small groups. And so you're going to get that by turning that in to our Freedom Administrator. And you can see that on your sheet, the email address, freedom@eccc.us.
Yes. So communication is huge for us. We are always available to you for any questions that you need. We are here anytime. Email is our primary form of communication. So you want to make sure that we have a valid email for you. We want to make sure that you're checking it and even check your junk mail or spam box the first couple times. It's probably most likely going to be coming from freedom@eccc.us.
That's right. And we also have a social media page in our Facebook group where you're going to have lots of communication as well.
Yep.
You will be invited to that, to be a part of that. If you don't get invited, you can reach out to your coach. And coaches are assigned to all leaders, and you'll have one coach that'll help you, can answer any questions for you, and as well will visit your group at least one time and be able to answer questions about your groups. There are also captains if you end up being part of the Freedom Retreat and leadership, and the captain helps lead the retreat.
Yep. So Freedom Leader and co-leader pairing, the best pairing that we have found and that we know is relational. So people maybe that you have been in a group with before, people that you are in relationship with. Again, both of you will have had to go through a Freedom group as a participant, attend a retreat, and then you are eligible to co-lead.
That's right. So now people are going to sign up for your group as you launch out. And the best way to get people in your group is by asking, okay? But we will do signups, but don't count on signups. Oftentimes signups are not very good. You could have 10 people sign up to your group and 2 people want to show up out of the 10. But if you get 10 yeses from friends, you typically will have 10 people show up. But if you do get people signing up, you need to contact them immediately. When you get their name, you contact them with the location, the time, and the start date of your group. If you don't contact them, they will not have the information and they will definitely not show up to your group.
Yeah, very, very important. And again, to reiterate, I'm just going to drive that point home. A personal invitation. Pray and ask God, who does he want in your group? And then ask those people. Yeah. They will say yes.
That's right.
So getting prepared to lead, we lead from the overflow. So that means that we are prepared to lead. We are spiritually ready. We are prayed up. We have spent time in the Word with the Lord, and we're leading from an overflow. Get a prayer partner. That could be your co-leader. You guys can commit to praying for one another in this season. Get familiar with the leader guide. In your Freedom book, in your Freedom Leader book, there is a beginning part at the beginning of every week that has a leader guide. That's super, super helpful. And making a schedule is very important. So look at the next few weeks, look at the next 10 weeks of your life. What weeks can you meet for sure? What weeks can you not meet for sure? What weeks are your co-leader? What week is your co-leader going to lead? And what weeks are you going to lead? Plan it out now so that you can give your participants a schedule from day one.
That's right. And if you're going to have food at your group or whatever, if you happen to be meeting in person and not on Zoom, make a food schedule and all that stuff. Get all that on the front side. Keep it excellent. Like that's one way to keep it excellent is by having a schedule, but also keep your life excellent. In this day and age, people see everything we do on social media Your social media needs to be a representation of who you are as a leader of a freedom group, as a Christian, as a believer. And so avoid controversial conversations and crazy things on Facebook, and show some discipline on social media. Also, let your life be part of what the form you're going to sign as these safeguards, these things that you're going to commit to doing as a freedom leader. We're going to give you something to sign. When you sign it, make sure you read through that and then do all of those things.
Yep.
And all of these things are really just walking in the Christian lifestyle and not having hypocrisy and dark secret areas in our life. And if you need help with any of those areas, reach out to your coach, to your pastor, to your leader, and we'd love to pray through and help you get freedom in those areas. And all of this is the role of the leader, is executing the excellence, the scheduling, organizing everything, making sure things are happening. But you're going to utilize your co-leader as someone who can supplement and help in any of the areas which you can't do. But as the leader, you need to take charge and take the lead, but get the responsibilities passed on to the co-leader. What is the role of the co-leader?
Yep, the role of the co-leader is to support the leader, first to pray for leaders and the participants, to participate, to be, especially in those first couple weeks when people are getting to know one another. You want to jump in and start the dialogue, but not over talk. You just want to offer, don't be shy to participate. That's your role. Some co-leaders will facilitate 4 to 5 discussions. Some will facilitate 1. You're starting out as a co-leader, your first time, you're good with 1. Do that. Take 1 step in that direction. Maybe you're good with 2 or 3 or 4, whatever you and your leader decide together. Pray with participants. So there's 3 options in this part. We always offer individual prayer for every participant every week of freedom. And that's what sets apart freedom groups from regular small groups, that individual prayer component. So you could... maybe you're not quite ready as a co-leader to be praying one-on-one with a participant. Take a step in that direction. So pray with the leader for a participant, or maybe you're just at the place where you just need to still receive prayer. Totally fine. Observe leader praying. And then the third option is pray one-on-one with participants.
Yeah. Can you speak to how to do that on a Zoom group?
Yeah. So when we had to switch to Zoom groups, this is what I heard most people doing, and it worked really well, is that they would split up the names. So if there was 2 co-leaders and 5 women, 2 female co-leaders, one would take 3 names, one would take 2 names, and either right after the meeting or even the next day, if it worked for them, depending on the schedule, they would give them a call and they would pray for them over the phone. And it worked really well, and it went really well.
It's probably even easier than trying to find extra space at a house to go pray.
It actually is, yeah.
Literally, you could do it right then and there and just say, hey, I'm going to call you one by one as we kind of hang out and chit chat and talk and connect. But yeah, you could do it the next day and work your way around, and we appreciate all your effort into that. So your first meeting is very important, that you kind of set the tone and set the standard. First meeting, you're going to introduce freedom and what it is to the participants. Share a testimony on what it means to you and how personal it is to you and how you enjoy it. You're also going to begin to create the flow of the group and communicate, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. We start with, just a 5-minute casual conversation, everybody hanging out. Then we go to the worship part, and we're all going to join in on that. And speak to that with the worship in a Zoom group. How are they doing that in Zoom groups?
Yeah, so you just put up like your laptop in your, or just play if you can do screen sharing, that's one thing. You could do screen sharing with like a YouTube video with lyrics. If you can't do that for whatever reason, you can just play something on your phone. Lots of different options.
That's wonderful.
Lots of different options.
Perfect. And so if you need help with that, your coach will coach you up on how to do that. But you're going to talk to them about how to communicate, that we're asking you guys to bring information and answer questions. We're not here to teach you. We're here for you to communicate. You're going to talk to them about the retreat on day 1, letting them know that it's 50% of freedom. Now, we didn't have a retreat for the last freedom session, and we're working on that still. We don't know all that we can do to get that done, but we will have a freedom retreat at the end of this fall. It may look a lot different than the last one, but the spring semester will be
participating in that as well.
Yep. Stay on time, start on time, finish on time. If you say it's an hour, it's got to be an hour.
Yeah.
The end.
Yep. Co-ed groups. Again, my mom, they did a co-ed group, and they did 2 different Zoom groups. So you can do that, and that worked out really well for them because they were able to meet at the same time, but still be separate and have those segregated conversations, male and female. It helped a lot.
Absolutely.
So a sample schedule for a meeting, this is in your notes. You can take a look at this. This is an hour and a half. So if your group is an hour and a half, you can follow this schedule. And again, if you're doing Zoom, you could probably make it shorter, closer to an hour and 15 minutes.
Or even 45 minutes, because you're going to miss a lot of that refreshments and stuff in the beginning, and you're going to miss the prayer at the end if you're doing it the next day.
Yep.
But just because it's Zoom doesn't mean it's not going to be personal. It's not going to be connecting, and people aren't going to have conversations. In fact, we found that in our Zoom groups last year, people tend to open up more when they're looking at a video screen of you than they do when they're staring at you face to face.
It's true.
There's a lack of nervousness that even comes to play with people when they're on Zoom. We found it was beautiful and wonderful what the small groups are actually doing during this season.
Yep. So some points to remember is this is their freedom group. You should have had your freedom group already and gotten to participate in that way as a participant, but this is theirs. So we're going to definitely leave any radical opinions out. We're not going to talk about the election. We're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about radical opinions again, or theological things that are
relevant to the discussion.
Yes, like stay on track. The book is there for a reason. If anyone else tries to get off track, tries to talk about the election or anything else, it's very easy to just say, "Hey guys, I know that's like a hot button topic right now, but we really want to stay focused on
The subject
in this book in this week. So let's stay on the subject of this week. There's so much good stuff in the book. There's never enough time to cover it all. So just bring it back to the book."
Yes, believe it or not, and I need to make a bigger point about this, Democrats and Republicans attend our church, and they will attend your freedom group.
Yep.
And you will inadvertently move someone away from Christ because you're spending more time talking about your political bent than you are about the subject in freedom.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to bring up politics, the best thing to do is say, we're not talking through politics here, but we are praying. We are praying for the election, and we are praying that God would move, but we are not talking politics. It's just not what this group is all about.
Yep.
Feel free to do that on your Facebook page, All right, individual prayer time. We mentioned that already,
Yep.
but you got to work through that. And that looks like praying with somebody for about 2 minutes about a personal prayer need every single group.
Yep.
Now, when you're praying, let's talk about the format of that prayer. Go ahead and teach them that.
Yeah. So what you want to know is what of that week's subject does that person need prayer for? So if that week is rejection, you ask for what in that area, and help me out.
What in the area of rejection would you need prayer for?
Yeah, sorry.
I'll teach you how to do this, okay? So Jessica, we're talking, well, first you say, is there anything you need prayer for?
Role play.
And they say, no, nothing. And then you say, what about in the area of rejection? And you're like, yes, I feel rejected by you right now. And you're like, great, let's pray for that, okay? And so you interview them and ask them, and you keep it on them.
Yeah.
They don't pray for their grandmother, aunt, or uncle, whoever.
This is theirs.
It's for them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they say, my grandmother has an illness, you say, I'll pray for that too, but what about you?
Yeah.
And then you listen to the lie they're believing. You pray about that. You pray for them. You bless them. You replace the lie with the truth, and you lead them forward. You don't rebuke them. You don't, whatever. You don't make them feel bad. You just replace the lie with the truth. Prayer is the foundation of freedom groups. And so we're praying for our leaders. Our leaders are praying for you. You are praying for
your
participants.
participants. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what's happening here. Again, the retreat will be happening. It will most likely be a one-day retreat this time. And we are working super hard to make this happen.
And you guys will know that information as soon as we know it. And please pray for us too. Pray that we would have wisdom to know how to do this. We may have to do things differently. And so we just need wisdom to know how to do that. Freedom group and retreat information for the participants. The goal of freedom, as always, is to get free from the burdens of your past and present and move forward in your purpose. So that tagline is in your notes. That is the tagline that is the easiest thing to explain what a freedom group is to people. So you want to invite your neighbor. What is a freedom group? Does that mean I have to be addicted to something? No, it's just for everyone. Freedom is for everyone. You get free of the burdens. We all have burdens in our past. We all have burdens in our present. And so we want to get free of those so we can move forward in our purpose.
Yep. Everyone needs a book, and they cost $15 each.
Yep.
No sharing. It doesn't help at all. People need their own answers. If somebody is struggling with getting a book, they can't afford a book, let us know, let your
Yes.
coach know, and we'll work on getting them a book
That's right.
at a discounted rate or something like that, or even if it has to be free. But we discourage free books because if you don't put anything in, you don't put
investment.
skin in the game, there's no investment. Okay. And so books can be purchased on campus that they attend and will be available online as well. Following that 10-week study is that retreat. So be paying attention to that. Now, Freedom Leaders Safeguards. You're going to need to read the safeguards and sign that form. Okay. Take some time to do that and get that back in. Now, that form may be digital at this point. I don't know the details of that, but that will be revealed to you. You'll either have a paper form or a digital form online you can sign and fill out. The point of that is that it will keep you moving forward as a leader in freedom. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for being a part of this. I hope we did this fast enough that you're still actually here
Yes.
with us at the end.
We hope so.
If you have any questions, we hope they get answered
Yeah.
because we can't answer them right now. Ask your coach. We thank you so much. And we look forward to an incredible freedom season this year.
That's right. We love you guys. We're very thankful for you. We appreciate you. We're praying for you. Thank you for taking this step. We couldn't do freedom without you. So love you. Make sure you reach out with questions.